Minglava, welcome to MITV's special talk show, Perspectives. For this week, we have invited honorable guest speaker Sia Wei Jen, who is a counselor of Myanmar Press Council, chairman of E-Commerce Association of Myanmar, and deputy chairman of Myanmar Digital Economy Association, UNFCCI, and also adjunct lecturer for MBF, EMBA, and MBA course at YUE. Sia Wei Jen has worked in UK and Singapore in professional capacity in banking and finance for more than 15 years. Minglava Sia, thank you for joining us today this program. Today we are going to talk about the condos and property management. As you know, the population density in urban areas are increasing more and more, and likewise, the number of high-speeding condos and apartments are mushrooming in less city, especially in Yangon. So people should know about the condos and property management. So please tell us, what is the condo status like in Myanmar?
Okay, in Myanmar, there is every apartment building, every building with some standard is calling themselves condos. Yeah, but in the international sense, compared with international buildings, they are nowhere near the international standards. So especially when you hear the word assimian this, assimian that, assimian building, assimian assimian housing, assimian mean high quality. You got to watch out for that. Typically, when you see the word assimian, it's really not assimian. It's really they are not of condo standard. That's the first thing. And most of the Yangon, most of the condos themselves, they are only in Yangon and Mandalay. Yeah, no, not in other places. So if you compare to the international standards, the one that can call themselves the condos, the actual condominiums, in the whole of the country, probably less than 20, around 20, the condominiums exist in the whole of Myanmar.
Yes. The next question is, what is the status of condo law in Myanmar?
Okay, the condo law itself, it defines what should be a condo and what it should not. So in terms of land area, in terms of size, in terms of the facilities that is available in that housing estate, and they write it out. So at this stage, the condo law has been enacted, which means the law is already there, but the detailed rules and regulations are not in place yet. So which means the condo law is at that stage, where you don't have the rules and regulation yet for the classification, how the condo should be classified, how the unit should be handled, how the ownership should be handled. The detailed rules and regulations are not there yet. That's the first thing. So the purpose of the condo law, the original purpose is to make the condo, the ownership. When you own a condo's apartment, you can mortgage the unit, you can make the sale and leasing and the sale and purchase the unit easier. So that's the purpose of the condo law itself.
How to designate high standard condo?
How to designate? Yeah, obviously, typically one way is with the facilities. Right, you must have a swimming pool, you must have the lift that is running 24 hours, you must have the electricity available 24/7. So that's a typical classification. In one of the condos in Myanmar, they even have a mini driving range in one of the condos in Bahan.
Yes. I would like to know the next question. What is the difference between the condos and the single family houses?
Also, you're talking about landed houses.
Yes.
Condo is a high-rise building where lots of people, a lot of exclusive neighborhood, a lot of families can live. Single house is just on their own. The beauty of the condo is, the facilities. Right, you can have the gym, you can have the electricity 24/7, you can have the water, and you don't have to worry about all these things. Right, because if you are living in your own landed property by yourself, when there is no electricity, you got to go and turn on the generator yourself. If the generator doesn't have fuel, then you got to fill in the diesel yourself. Yes. In the condo, you don't have to do that. The condo property management did everything. So you just enjoy the facilities.
So you mean the people living in condo is more advantageous rather than the family house?
And normally is, normally in terms of investment value, Condos will give you higher rental income.
Yes.
In terms of the amount of money that you put in the investment. Landed property will give you higher capital appreciation. Landed property value will increase more than the condo value. Yeah, but condo, normally foreigners and all these things, they like to live in the condos because they don't want to worry about the electricity and water and all the other facilities issue that comes with the landed property.
Yes, condo is full facilities, so it is expensive for accommodation.
Yeah, it is expensive because in condo, in a sense, you got to pay for the monthly management fees for a condo. If you live in your own land, you don't have to pay.
Yes. Why is the proper management for condos important?
Yeah, because if you look at the condos in Yangon itself, because most of the condos in the whole country are in Yangon anyway, right? We only have a few in Mandalay, a couple. Yeah, and so if you look at the condos in Yangon itself, most of the condos are run down, not properly maintained, other than a few like Golden City or Central or Shui Hinda or Mianjos condo. Other than that, a lot of other condos are not well maintained. Right, that's why you need to manage the property. Property means the whole condo estate itself. You have to manage them properly. Otherwise, the condo look really, really bad from the outside, right? Because that poor management is also simply due to the lack of funds. Condo itself do not have the reserve fund. So and plus there's also most of the cases there's disputes between the condo residents and the organization or the people managing the condo itself. A good example would be if you look at the Park condo in the Gabai Pagoda Road, it's pretty run down. Yeah.
Yes, yes. How does other country do it?
Well, in other countries, if you look at the neighboring countries like Singapore, Thailand, or Malaysia itself, right? They have the condo management committee, and that management committee appoint the condo property maintenance or management company to maintain the condo, right? So the management committee is made up of the condo owners, and they appoint a professional company to manage and run the condo facilities. That's the one. So in order to have that, you need to have sufficient reserve fund in the condo. Otherwise, you won't be able to pay for it. In order for the condo to have sufficient reserve funds, you got to collect sufficiently from the residents, right, in terms of the monthly fees and all these. Otherwise, they will not have enough to pay for the contractors. Yeah, plus each condo units are divided into strata titles. So you have your ownership title. So you can sell your flats, your condo units easily, through the approval of the condo management rather than any government approval per se.
Yes. And so I would like to know, in Myanmar, we have the condo management committee for maintenance.
Okay, that's probably the next question. What type of arrangement do we have in Myanmar? In Myanmar, there are a couple ways of arrangement. The first one is a developer manage. The person who built up the condo, he set up the management committee or he set up the management company and he manages the condo. That is how, whenever developer manage, there is always disputes between the developer and the residents. Because any property defects or managed, they blame the developer and expect the developer to repair, right, without the residents paying for it. And the developer, right, he finished building already, his warranty period is over, so he no longer wants to repair it. So then whenever developer manage condo, there is always that dispute. Yeah, and the second one is the professional property management company. You can see it in Golden City, you can see it in Central, where these condos are managed by professional property or condo management companies. Yeah, they manage that. So these are outside contractors. A lot of the apartments are, however, in Myanmar, they are managed by majority owners who own the most of the units. They lead the management committee and they try to manage the condo. But most of the cases, it has not been successful. Yeah, because this majority owners of the condo is also family of the property developers. So that's the case. And the other one, the last type of management is the condo residents form the residents committee or management committee, and they try to manage it. And that also has its own problem because there is a voluntary job, right? So a lot of people do not want to volunteer and do unpaid work.
Yes. What are the typical difficulties for condos?
Yeah, the first difficulty is with the no reserve fund. Condo do not have sufficient fund to to hire professional managers, professional property maintenance managers, or to do a major repair maintenance thing. So the reserve fund issue is the first one. The second one is, the professional property management company, they're also too expensive for the residents, and the residents are unable to, do not want to pay for it. Yeah. So for example, if you look at the Central along the Bible Golden Road or Golden City, they are charging like, US $150 to $200 every month for condo, for the management fees for the condo maintenance. So it's pretty expensive if you want to have an outside professional property maintenance and management company. Then the third one is the residents typically put up with the living in a dilapidated state. Even if the condo is run down and look bad and the paints are falling off, they say, oh, it's not my problem. They don't want to repair. So that is also one of the difficulties. And the other one is, even if you have the residents committee, there will be residents will complain, residents will dispute, not knowing that the committee itself is not on a paid basis. They are doing volunteering basis, and yet they got a lot of flack from the residents. And the other ones that, the other ones typically you encounter in Myanmar is, condo may have a set of rules, but the residents refuse to follow it. Right? For example, the condo rules may say that you cannot have the construction workers going up to their unit, but they will go up, right? Disregarding the rules. So that creates lots of problems. Simply maybe people in Myanmar are not so used to living in condos yet, like in foreign countries. The last point that I want to mention is, the residents themselves not wanting to contribute to the welfare of the condo, because condo is a common compound. A lot of areas are common area. Once you get out of your apartment unit, even the walkway is not your property. It's a property of the condo. It's a condo property. So you got to contribute. You got to contribute the welfare of the whole housing estate. So if you are unwilling to contribute, the housing estate will eventually goes down.
Yes. And my last question is, why is the reserve fund is important for a condo?
Yeah, as we say in life, that 90% of the life problems has got to do with the money. So reserve fund is a pool of money that the condo can use to do major repairs and to do certain things for the condo, right? So for example, a lot of apartments, or properties or estates that claim themselves to be condo, they don't even have a centralized generators. If you go to a lot of apartments or so-called condo, they will realize that, when the electricity is off, the only the lift work. The rest of the units, no electricity. Why? Because the generator is not big enough. Yeah, or they can't afford. Yeah, that type of thing. And each unit, let's say there are 50 units, 40 of them have their own generators. That is not efficient, right? It's best to have one centralized big generator, but nobody is willing to pay for it. Why will unwilling to pay? Because there is no reserve fund. Yeah, because so in the first place, the operations become not efficient. Because the condo do not have the centralized money, a pool of money to spend. Yeah, so the result is the condo become run down. Nobody is doing the repairs, right? The reason that we don't have the reserve fund is also because the fees that are collected from the resident is insufficient, right? So they think that, when there is something happen, we'll go and collect the fees. When something happen, they try to collect the fees and nobody is willing to pay for it. And people disappear, residents say, they are overseas, they don't have money yet, and all these things. So as a result, you are unable to repair the major things. So, I want to end with this thing, there is a proverb there. A stitch in time saves 9, right? If you have a tear, you stitch it, then you won't have 9 stitches. Yeah, in Burmese, there's a proverb, what is that? Yeah, so if you repair in time, you have a lot of headaches. You will avoid a lot of headaches in the future. So condo is also like that. So in order to repair everything in time, be it generator, be it water filter, or be it lift, right? You need to repair right now. If you wait because you don't have money, it ends up costing you more, and the condo become run down.
Thank you very much, Sal, for today's This Talk Show. From this talk show, we have learned about the condo laws and the condos and property management and the maintenance tax in condos and other many interesting things about from this talk show. Thank you very much for your precious time and your kind presence for this talk show, Sia.
Thank you.
You have been watching MITV special talk show Perspective. Thanks for joining us.